Rabiah? Is Rabiah with us? Ah, there you go. Rabiah, you've just heard Mr. Singh talk about the sexism that exists within the Pakistani community.
Inequality as well.
And inequality as well, as you just heard him say. What would you say to that, Rabiah? Because I'm guessing by your name that you may be from the Pakistani community, are you?
I am Pakistani. Yes, I am Pakistani, Nihal, and I have a different opinion. And I actually have a few questions that I want to ask you, to be very fair.
Rabiah, can I just ask you, before you ask me those questions, to turn your radio off in the background?
Yeah, sure.
Because the echo's coming through and I want everybody to hear what you've got to say.
Now.
Okay, Rabiah, what would you like to ask me?
Basically, I've been listening to your show from the start, and regarding the Pakistani men, I personally feel, I did text quite a few texts to your show, but
okay. Well, now you're speaking to me.
Yeah. So I feel, whatever they did was wrong. They weren't mentioned as Pakistanis, and it's a common fact. It was known that they were Pakistanis, but I think, regarding your show, you should have been talking about things like how are we going to solve this problem? Where have we failed in education-wise? Where are the failings of the parents? Where are the failings of the social media? Where are the failings
we had that conversation with Dr. Aisha Gill when I was asking her, and I was asking Shaista Gohir from the Muslim Women's Network about what can be done, what should be done. The problem we have, though, Rabiah, is that some people won't accept that it is a Pakistani problem, so they won't.
Your question was from the start.
Yes.
Why is it always Pakistani men? Why? Is
No, that wasn't my question.
No,
Rabiah, my question.
Just make one point
No,
clear.
I can't because you've got it wrong from the start. The question wasn't that.
I got it wrong.
The question wasn't wrong.
Your was question. Pakistani men, what they are doing it. Why is it? What is wrong with the Pakistani culture?
Oh, we did ask that question as well.
No, but it's not.
Okay. So Rabiah, why is it? Why is it? Okay. Why is it then?
The debate should have been, how are we going to resolve it? You're just causing aggravation. This is just causing an aggravation.
No, wait a minute. Rabiah, stop. Wait a minute. No, stop for a second. Rabiah, the reason we asked this question is because we want to know whether there is or there isn't. You can't just not ask the question because clearly, Rabiah, there is a disproportionate... Wait a minute. Rotherham, Rochdale, Derby, Oxford, these are predominantly Pakistani men involved. Now, Rabiah, I'd like to ask you a question. Why is that?
Jimmy Savile? How about Rolf Harris? How about those two? What do you have to say about those two?
These are individuals. Were they Pakistani? They weren't gangs. Rabiah, they weren't trafficking. They weren't trafficking women around. This was not an organised financial thing that Jimmy Savile and Rolf Harris were doing. These were individuals engaging in crimes. What we're talking about, Rabiah, is something very specific. Now, you can choose to ignore that if you wish.
You are talking about young women. I'm sure Jimmy Savile were targeted young kids.
Rabia, come on. You can't ignore. Listen, a debate has to...
I am not ignoring the fact. What I'm saying is, your topic should have been, how are we going to solve this problem? They were young kids.
All right, tell me.
11, 12-year-old kids, okay?
Quite. But Rabiah...
Why they weren't questioned?
Right, so it's their fault.
Okay, wait a minute. Didn't call their parents and find out. Okay.
All right, Rabiah, stop. Jeez, I understand you're angry, Rabiah, but understand how this works. You can't just go yeah for like 15 minutes. Just stop for a second. Now, Rabiah, so what you're essentially saying is that it's the fault of the victims because people weren't looking after them, rather than blaming the perpetrators. That's the same thing as saying that, why was a woman wearing a bikini when she got raped? I mean, that's the same kind of argument, Rabiah. It doesn't make any sense.
If you want to have a debate, let's have a two-sided debate, not one-sided debate, Nihal.
Well,
so you answer my question. Why Jimmy Savile, was he not abusing
I've
young
answered
kids?
That. You didn't listen, did you?
Abusing young kids?
You didn't answer it. Was Jimmy Savile part of a gang that trafficked girls around the country? Was Rolf Harris part of a gang that financially benefited from trafficking and exploiting young girls? No, they weren't.
And British law has failed to stop that.
That
means British society and British law has failed to solve that. So why don't we change the topic and let's talk about how are we going to solve the problem?
Okay, so just be clear. Just be clear.
And on. We know they were Pakistanis. Not all the Pakistani men are the same. Like all the fingers are not same in your hands and my hands.
Right, okay, so just to be clear, okay, wait a minute. So you're admitting the fact that there were a lot of Pakistani men involved in this crime?
Yeah, but they were wrong. It was a common...
No, well, we all know they're wrong. I mean, geez. Apart from them...
They were not classified as, Asian men. They were specifically told on every single news channel that they were Pakistanis. It was nothing to do with Asian.
But why should... Okay, okay.
You're not ready to debate with me. Once you're ready to debate with me, then give me a call, okay?
Well, you can't have a debate, Rabiah. You can't have a debate because you don't listen to anything. It's very difficult to have a debate with someone when you just keep going on about the same thing and ignoring every other point that's put forward. Mr. Singh, do you want to try and unravel anything of what Rabiah said there?
There's my example there that you're on about. She's saying about, well, we should have a debate about how we're going to solve the problem. Well, you can't solve the problem until you recognise and accept that there is a problem and then not start going, you're making it personal to Pakistanis. Well, 2/3 of the perpetrators were Pakistani. And what I'm saying to you is, by contrast, and as I said, I'm not trying to elevate one more than the other, but until you follow what exists already in Sikhism, is that there is absolute equality for women in congregation, in academics, in healthcare, in the military, then until you do that, you're not going to be able to elevate their status to one of equal and therefore give them the respect that they deserve.
But Mr. Singh, there are plenty of strong, independent... What you're doing here is tarnishing an entire community with the acts of some criminals. Now, there are plenty of Sikh gangs, there are plenty of Sikh criminals, there are plenty of Hindu criminals, Buddhist criminals, Christian criminals, Jewish criminals. There's plenty.
Our foundation, our doctrines are based on equality.
What verse of the Quran? Wait a minute. The Quran was probably the first religion, actually, organised religion, to, considering it's a good 1,000 years before Sikhi came about, that actually ordained rights for women in terms of divorce. Now, the culture may well have perverted that.
Look, I'll give you examples. Like a woman can't even say that she's been raped until there's 4 male witnesses. Now, that doesn't exist within Sikhism or Hinduism. I'm saying it exists there. 72 virgins rewarded for people who commit jihad and die as martyrs. That is degradation of women. It's like the place of paradise.
How many people really think like that, Mr. Singh? I've got plenty of Muslim friends, Pakistani ones. Not a single one thinks like that.
Lived in Manchester, all right, and the men's attitudes there is they're marrying their first cousins, all right, uncles marrying their nieces. They see all white women as trash and therefore objects of desire and just to be dominated.
I was made aware that part of Hindu culture for many years was where in South India, for instance, where uncles marry nieces.
Absolutely. It stood up against Sati as well, about women throwing themselves in the funeral pyre. All I'm saying is, look, I'm not trying to make it an issue of Sikh or Hindu. I'm saying as a Sikh...
Well, you are.
To Islam in Manchester to be accepted. I've seen the culture there. They degrade women. Women are seen as second-class citizens. All the young boys now, they think they get all brainwashed by the Maulvis, etc., to form jihad, and your reward is 72 virgins.
Okay, all right, Mr. Singh, okay, we'll leave it there, Mr. Singh. Thank you very much indeed for that. 08459 440 445 is the phone number. If Rabiah wants to come back on the line, she's more than welcome to call in. But she perhaps has to understand that she has to breathe and then listen.